All right, I think we're on. Had to do things a little bit differently tonight. My goodness. What's good, everybody? Hope you guys can hear me. I think this stream has started. But for those who have no idea who I am, and for those who do, this is SilentMode, maker, artist, and LEGO enthusiast. As my man LEGO Therapy said, smash that like button, give everything the thumbs up. As a matter of fact, give everybody who's taking part in the Brick Crawl Raid Train a thumbs up as you see him. And I, for one, am honored that you've taken the time to visit my stream. And yeah, hope you guys have had a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. You may hear it in my voice, but I've been incredibly excited to take part in this, and I hope I do it justice. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got, well, there's a lot of names here, but shout yourselves out. Gosh, let me get my thoughts together. Somebody wanted to see these Duplo figures, which came from the Lego Movie 2. There was actually a Duplo set that contained both of these, and I just had to get these because they looked pretty good. But they're part of my collection now. And in the middle you see here are my 6 signature figures. There is someone resembling me in the middle, and the other 5 are supporting characters. But hopefully the stream will give you an idea once it's done as to who I am and hopefully what I contribute. So I wanted to show you guys what I'm going to do in this live stream. So earlier in the year, JDP set up a collaborative project where we were asked to build minifigure habitats, and I designed this one for myself. And I thought, because this was all designed on computer, I thought to myself, I wouldn't have done it justice unless I actually built it myself. And hopefully I've managed to get all the parts for this build here, and that's what I'm going to do today. Yes, Owen recognizes evil mode. I think he recognizes it from one of my business cards. It is this character here, and let me see if I can find it. Let's see if I have any left. Give me a second, folks. One of the reasons why I really wanted to get the bricks and pieces order from Lego, which took just under a month. I've actually run out of those business cards. But anyway, let's get right into it. Once again, thank you guys for joining in. I really appreciate it, and I'm honored to be part of this. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We've got Owen, we got Curkym, we've got JDP, Mayo, Damos, Alexandria, of course. Who else we got? We got Little Lego, who's popped in briefly. My man Never Too Old. We got Henry Leach and the German Messi, who arrived early. And this should be all the parts necessary to build this set or this model. And I just happen to have instructions. So hopefully everybody is doing all right today, and hopefully you're doing better than I am. I'm actually doing okay. I have been rather nervous about how this is all going to go down. Shout out to Roaming Bricks as well. Little Lego is still here, which is excellent news. And of course JDP, I was just on his stream. One of the things I really appreciate about this brick crawl is seeing not only how many people are involved, but seeing what people bring to the table, and just about everybody brings something different to the table. JDP, for example, he showed what he bought this year and some of the builds that he's done this year. We had Roaming Bricks out of India. I have absolutely no idea, or I had no idea that India had a Lego scene. I caught a little bit of Foggy's stream to kick this thing off, and I caught a little bit of him playing a song, which was amazing as well as discovering some people I'd never heard of before. Thank you, Demos. Apologies if I don't pronounce your name correctly. let me slow down and gather my thoughts. How's it going, Brick Together? No problem, man. I suppose that leads nicely to the big question of the day. How this particular, well, I actually don't like using the word community, but how this particular group of people has helped. And one of the most important things to me is actually making a contribution of some kind. And it was important when this brick crawl was announced that, well, to me anyway, that I had something to do with it, that I had my part to play. I don't like being one of these people who just stands around and does nothing. But at the same time, there are things that I can do, and there are things that are probably best left to somebody else. Hello, Kathy. I see you there. Alright, so I've given myself a bit of a challenge with these tiles. You may have seen me earlier in the year making instructions for this particular set. Now I just have to follow my own instructions. But I think I am back on track now. And yes, I wanted to pick this particular one because I believe I can get this done in the time that I have. It was also important that I got this one made. Oh, I forgot about that. Let me see if I can do something about that. Yeah. Okay, so hopefully I've paused adverts. I did ask about that when it came to setting up the stream, and apparently it was okay, but I hopefully have turned them off. Let's see, where was I? Yeah, there we go. I see there, Britain Bricks. Thank you for stopping by. Always good to see you, man. I think I got that one wrong, but let's see. So you gotta calm down. Gotta calm down. I think I'm doing okay. I'm just really eager to see this up close and personal. I don't know if you guys have had that experience where you're so eager to see things completed that you get too excited. And yes, if I don't say it to everybody here, I hope you guys have a great new year in 2026. I can't be the only person who's had a very challenging year, and some of you guys may have noticed. It may have been incredibly obvious to you guys that it's been a very challenging year. And one thing this, oh look, a Minecraft brick. One thing, if I may, one thing I'm particularly grateful for with this group of people is that if it wasn't for most of you guys, I would have probably given up, if you understand what I mean. Given up on the hobby certainly, but in perhaps other areas, because so much has happened this year that I definitely didn't expect. But the most important thing, I think, is that I've been encouraged to stick with the hobby. just applying my my abilities in a different way. So yes, I did want to mention as well that yeah, I do want to mention that there's some unscheduled programming. We're going to have a group stream after mine. So yes, I got to post the link to the new stream, and this one should redirect to the new live stream. There's also going to be an invite link for anybody who wants to jump in, because I want to see some more people today. I think it would be great if more people joined in. Okay, is there any missing? There, I believe that's all the 1x4s. Opium Overlords, how are you doing, sir? I was wondering if you're going to show up, but I really appreciate you showing up. And you guys have been absolutely amazing today. And I really appreciate it. All right. It's excellent news. I was hoping JediBrickman would be part of this as well. I think if you want to talk about particular people who've been inspirational, I'll definitely count JediBrickman as one of them. There have been a whole bunch of people excuse me, who've been inspirational, and it doesn't seem fair to single anybody out. But I think in fairness, they're going to be different for everybody. Maybe some common names, but that's also the beauty of a group like this, that everybody has importance, I would say. But let me not ramble. Okay. Let's see if I can make time. Okay, now we got 1x1s, 1x1 tiles. Oh, there's another one. Another 1x2. I'm pretty sure I'll find out where that goes. Right, so while I'm finding all these bits, let me know if you guys have any questions, anything you want to get off your chest. I am all ears and more or less an open book. Just trying to find that last 1x1 tile. Oh yeah, there's one to the right. So I've got 4 over here. And there's 1. Oh no, there's meant to be 4. And I'm just reminded I should probably play some music in the background. This is some of the music I've created or had generated this year. And I won't play it too loudly. Hope you guys like it. Okay. That's another thing as a result of being in this group. I got the music bug. It's meant to go there. Cool. Yeah, some of these tiles are a little bit dirty. Doesn't matter. So JDP asks, how long do you think you'll last with the no buying Lego challenge? I think he'll last until April, if I'm absolutely honest, because we're thinking about what's being released now, and I'm pretty sure there'll be some really interesting things coming up later in the year. So it's quite hard, I'd imagine it's quite hard to make a pledge like that. I think a really good example was with the vending machine, which I didn't know about until I started seeing all kinds of talk about it. Otherwise, generally, I wouldn't think of buying anything really. Okay. I am looking forward to seeing how long you last, though. I think that's a very interesting challenge. And the German Messi, it's about time you got here, but no, in all seriousness, thanks for joining in, and I hope you enjoy your time here. Let's see, what's some 1x12s? Had to get a few 1x16s. They're understandably expensive. Okay. So how's it going, Lone Wolf Bricks? I did see you there. From what I've heard, I don't know if it's the same in the UK, but the DeLorean Speed Champion sets are really popular. Apparently they were sold out somewhere. And I think it's best I wait for some kind of discount or incentive to get one anyway. But as a few people have said, just about everybody's going to be doing videos of the DeLorean when it comes out. How's it going, Grumpy? I can see the beginning of a really bad joke there. Alright, so Never Too Old has been pushing the question, which I think most of us should be answering anyway. Remind me of the question, please. Never Too Old. Just want to make sure I answer that question properly. So right now I'm building a desk. Right, so Mayo asks, I guess when I saw that there was a vacant spot, essentially, Mayo's asking why I didn't just make my stream a 2-hour stream. Well, first of all, I don't think anyone wants to watch a 2-hour stream of me. But at the same time, I didn't want to take 2 hours because I think it's not just my brick crawl. I wanted to get some people involved, some other people involved. And it looks as if some other people will be involved. Excuse me. And I think that's basically the spirit of the whole thing. Alright, so basically the question from Never Too Old to all the participants is, what does the brick community mean to me this year? Okay, I guess my answer is going to be quite long, and I did admittedly kind of rehearse my answer. For me, it has made... Okay, so for a little bit of background, I used to be part of what I call the mainstream LEGO hobby, which is basically meeting with people in person every so now and then, taking part in group activities, big events and things, and it went well for a while, but then somehow, some way, things went pear-shaped and there was a lot of disrespect toward me in particular, and it soured my enjoyment of the hobby. And as I said earlier, things almost got to the point where I completely gave up. But then, thanks to a guy named Terry Appleton on YouTube, he introduced me to Never Too Old during a live stream. And from there, I was introduced to a whole bunch of other people who, for the most part, had no preconceptions of me. And they seemed to appreciate what I brought to the table in terms of what I do with Lego. And that made the difference. Being introduced to things such as alternative brands, doing some different things with sets, and basically enjoying building and designing things again. That to me is what this particular group of people means, and hopefully I'm able to have a similar effect to anybody else who's perhaps experiencing similar things. But one of the things I've always thought about the hobby is this. I mean, I'm paraphrasing Cat Williams admittedly. This is one of the few areas where, and especially since Lego is considered, or is meant to be considered, a kid's toy, this is one of the few areas where what you look like shouldn't matter. But time and time again, I found that some people like to sideline others because of, in some cases, what they look like, what their identity is, and this is the mainstream part of the hobby. I don't think it should be about that at all, but some people do. And I would say for the most part, that's what I appreciate about this particular group of people. Hopefully that was a long enough answer for you guys. Yeah, I've heard Little Lego mentioned his mother passing. I've heard of quite a few people experiencing the loss of family members recently, and that's one thing that scares the crap out of me. It's something that we're all gonna have to face, but oh my goodness. Everybody give a shout out to Blitz TV. That's my younger brother. He's once again gifted some memberships to people. Thank you, man. And yeah, as Opium Overlord has mentioned, my first name is actually Drew. I think most of us have known each other for that long, so you can refer to me as Drew if you like, but for the rest of you, it's SilentMode, or just Silent. But man, Blitz, you really don't have to do this. I mean, I would say to anybody, nobody has to feel compelled to do anything for me. I'm just here to hopefully make a difference, but thank you. Gosh. Yeah. Yeah, Blitzwolf, or Blitzwolf is the name he goes by, but he is my younger brother. He has a very successful gaming channel as well. If you guys want to subscribe to him, that would be awesome. Probably not as family friendly as I am, but some of you guys may like that. Okay, I seem to be missing a black hinge piece, but I guess for the time being I'll use this dark stone grey one. Who's Randy? Well, so on a lighter note, one thing I did today, actually, I had to go to the supermarket earlier. Oh, thank you, Owen. Everybody shout out Owen, give him your W's. I really appreciate it, man. Again, you don't have to do any of that, but I really appreciate it. No, those are actual Great British pounds, Odelay. Oops. But as I was saying, I had to go to the supermarket today to get one of those eraser boards because one thing I've immediately started doing is making a list of things that I could potentially build next year, or projects I could potentially take on. I want next year to be a particularly productive year, as always. But one thing that concerns me is that I have all these ideas right now, and just as, you know, answering JDP, there's probably going to be more sets to think about in the future. There's probably going to be a whole bunch more ideas to take on later next year. And I guess I'm a little bit concerned about being able to do things justice. But I also think that whatever gets done will get done. So I'm kind of setting myself up, but I'm also excited about what could possibly happen next year. Yeah, one thing I meant to do actually was for the members, I've got to start having some members content. I'm going to put some of this music on YouTube as members only content, so mostly just to show people some of the stuff I've been working on. But yeah, Blitz, I hope you're doing alright as well. Excellent, Lone Wolf. This is the Speed Champions DeLorean you're talking about, right? When am I going to utilize my Christmas presents? Okay, for those who don't know, and he really didn't have to do this, he got me one of these. This is an actual working Game Boy. I tested it a while ago, and I'm actually not sure if I want to actually modify this one because it's so pristine and it works really well. But I have the kit, so I'm going to have to do it. thank you, Odelay. That's thank you for the kind words, man. Man, I'm honestly humbled. So that's what we have so far. This is I guess my rendition of a micro scale 3D printer. So this vignette basically represents my interest as they stood at the beginning of the year. Well, Lone Wolf, if you hang on. Just had to get back on track there. Yeah, Lone Wolf, if you want to, we're having a group stream after this one, so you can join in once I post the link. It would be good to have you. Odelay asks if I work for MI5. Nope. I don't think I'd qualify for MI5, to be absolutely honest, but one thing I do know is that they're very particular about what we do online, and I probably wouldn't make the grade just because of that. Not that I actually tried to apply for MI5 or anything like that. Okay, these are the only colored parts of my vignettes. And this is what I call the family stripe, and that represents each of these minifigures. Oops. So each of these is represented by a different color, and they're represented by this arrangement of colors. That's right, FillnBricks. But thank you to those who have subscribed. I heard the notification, but I really appreciate it. I always appreciate everything, man. But it's important that I say it. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions for me. Okay, that's a good question, Kathy. How am I? I am a lot calmer now, but I'm doing all right. I'm just glad to be part of this, you know. I'm certainly honored to be one of the streamers on this brick crawl. I'm also honored that I could do just that little bit more to help it go along. I think I will just about make it at this rate. Ah, there it is. All right. I just saw KY's question there. Who are you? Okay, for those who have absolutely no idea who I am, I suppose I should give an introduction. I go by the name SilentMode. I am what's called a maker, artist, and LEGO enthusiast. I'm based out of London, UK right now, and I've been in the LEGO hobby for the last 15 years. So I specialize in designing and building my own models out of Lego, but I've also expanded into 3D printing and maybe some other methods of creating things, but basically my way of expanding the Lego hobby, particularly with system. That's my makeshift chair. That's my, I guess that's my elevator pitch description. Alright, what's my opinion of the Lego 3D printed train piece? I have seen it. First thought is it resembles a very famous 3D printing model called Benchy, which I call an ugly boat because I really don't like the design of the Benchy, and the train looks a lot like the Benchy, so I don't like the design. From what I've seen, it was a 3D printed piece that was designed to hold a few other Lego elements, and I can see it being a collector's item because Lego, and from what I understood anyway, although Lego has used 3D printing, they seem to be opposed to using 3D printing in official sets. But to me, it's more of a collector's item than anything. I don't particularly see it being that great a thing. And then because I do 3D printing myself, including designing stuff, if I wanted something 3D printed, I'd just do it myself and perhaps do a better job. My favorite or go-to theme of Lego, as John Powell, that name sounds familiar. I'm a fan of the 80s/90s city town sets. But if we're talking something more contemporary, I suppose I actually do like Speed Champions. I do the collectible minifigures, although they're not as great as they used to be, in my opinion. I used to be a fan of the Friends theme, but it got a bit much. And I think that's pretty much it. What's my favorite? Well, I don't call them mocks, actually. I call them creations, just to be pedantic. What am I most proud of? Well, part of the reason I design in black and white is because what's considered my best creation was a theme called Screamix, which was based on the music video by Michael and Janet Jackson. There was a whole bunch of these things in black and white, basically. I'd say the Game Boy that I designed and built earlier this year is probably the one I'm most proud of right now, because it was a personal challenge. It was something that I thought was too complicated for me to design, and somehow I managed it. So I'm particularly proud of that one. Okay, I got 20 minutes. Almost there, it's just mainly building walls. That's the last of the 1x16s. What's my favorite official LEGO set of 2025? I've only bought 2 at full price, and I guess that's a good benchmark for a set that I hold in high regard, whether I would buy it at full price or not. So the only 2 sets I bought for full price this year were the Game Boy, mainly for comparison, and also the minifigure vending machine from LEGO Ideas. And of the 2, I would say the vending machine tops the list. Yeah, never too old is, hopefully that's all it is, but you've been up since 4 AM your time, I think. But I certainly hope you're doing alright, sir. Yeah, I'm surprised how well the vending machine works. And that must have taken some serious figuring out. So the designers deserve a lot of credit for it. I do like the idea of the gingerbread AT-AT. What brand is my microwave? I don't have a microwave. Yeah, so for those who don't know, I got the official version, which is the one that I did a color swap of in the background. But there's also a much less expensive one on AliExpress if you're open to using alternative brand bricks. So I've got them both and I built them both. My favorite minifigure, that's a tough one. I think I'd have to narrow it down by particular theme. I'll have to have a think about that one. What set is that, Kathy? I'm curious now. Ah, darn. Let me see if I have. What did I do with those parts? I'm missing a couple of those hinge bases. Let's see if I've misplaced them. Give me just a second. If not, it's not a huge thing. I just have to dig them out from somewhere. Okay, never mind. But yeah, I like the concept of the gingerbread AT-AT. But fortunately, I'm not a Star Wars person, so that's not an expense I would have. Okay. Yeah, the Lion King Simba was quite popular. Right, let me... Oh, I missed Opium Overlord's message. Hope you have a good night, Opium Overlord, and Happy New Year to you. Don't worry, I'm not gonna ignore that question about my favorite minifigure. I went with black for the vending machine because using my wizardry, that was the color that was most easy or most straightforward to switch with red based on the parts used. Any of the other colors would work just as well, I think. Now, as for my favorite minifigure, if we are talking from the collectible minifigures, I would say the Series 6 Sleepyhead. That's the one I've rated the highest at the time. I would have to admit that I'm quite partial to Mr. Gold. I'm lucky enough to have one of those. The Gorilla Suit guy from Series 3 is also a good one. Yeah, I'd say those three. Mr. Gold was a super exclusive figure from Series 10 of the collectible minifigures. Only 5,000 were ever produced. And I just happened to have a genuine one. Pure luck, basically. Oh yes, gosh, shout out to, I've forgotten their username on Discord, but they provided the Brick Crawl logo in the bottom right corner. Valrose, I think their name is. So they designed it early on, and I thought it would be a good idea to use it. All right, I think this is it actually. Oh. Okay, FillnBricks. Well, shout out to FillnBricks. Okay, so I'm missing some of the hinge pieces. But these are meant to be some screens. This one goes in the middle and basically sits like that. You've got these two which sit on the sides, something like this. Can't see it too well. And then all that is left is to add my signature. If you give me just a second, but remember where I put it. Still trying to get set up in here. Yes, there they are. We were just saying you provided the logo, the Brick Crawl 2026 logo. So I was just giving you a shout out. And one thing I like to do is sign my creations with this special printed tile, which goes right here. And there you have it, folks. This is what I'm calling the Brick Therapy minifigure habitat designed for JDP's projects. Now I've got to find some hinge bases for those screens, but managed to complete it in just under an hour. And it looks pretty good as well, I think. Alright, so I've got a little bit of time. I can show you I hope that's what it was. I can show you a couple of other things. So first of all, with the vending machine, I went ahead and designed some of my own half spheres. Here is an actual Lego half sphere. You can tell by the text you see there. And then I didn't want to be limited to blue and yellow, so I've designed this half sphere, and these actually fit the Technic axles. So I got some black and white ones for my vending machine, but also I've gone a little bit nuts and did them in a whole bunch of colors as well. So for anybody who's interested, they can produce them in whatever colors they want. and they probably won't cost as much as getting them from Lego, but it will take a bit of time to print them all. These are all 3D printed, yes, and eventually I'm going to release the 3D printed model so that people can produce their own, but I wanted to get as many colors as I could with the materials that I had. I got so many because it's one of the habits I have, unfortunately. Once I design something, I have to see it in lots of different colors. Whoops. But it's also good for it's also good for photography as well. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, little Lego 3D printing, once you start out and once you get used to the idiosyncrasies, it can be very addictive, but eventually you'll run into a few problems, and it's knowing how to deal with those issues that makes the difference. So following on from this idea, I've actually buried the ball. Nope, I haven't. Following on from that idea, Never Too Old had a really good idea. So this is a rubber duck that I designed a while ago. I designed some larger ones earlier in the year, and the idea was that I would produce these and sell them to make a little bit of change, so I could have stayed where I used to live, but that didn't work out. Problems with not being able to sell them at actual events, and they cost a lot to post. But anyway, Little Lego had the idea of producing some of these to go inside these, and so that's what I did today. And this should, well, I've tested it, this will fit inside. And then I've been just working on printing them in different colors. I didn't delete your message. I had nothing to do with it. Let's see, is there another one? I should know. Yeah, there was the yellow ones, and I've got some white ones printing. So that is hopefully going to be a future project, and I like the idea that Never Too Old came up with. Hopefully I can make it a reality. But yeah, 3D printing, it's it can be just as addictive as Lego, because they both involve plastic. They're both quite pricey hobbies, and there's so much you can do with them. It can also be addictive getting 3D printers as well. I did get a new one recently, but that was on the condition that I sold or got rid of an existing one, which I was able to do. Alright, so we are 5 minutes from the next live stream. I want to shout you guys out once again and show my appreciation for you joining in. I didn't think it was going to be this live, quite frankly, but I really appreciate it, and you guys have made it a really good one. Next up, because of rescheduled programming, we're going to have a group stream, and this stream should redirect to the next one. But I'm also going to post an invite link if you want to jump on and take part. I'm going to do it right now. All right, that's the link if you want to join the if you want to actually go live. with the next stream. It would be great to speak to some of you directly. If not, then feel free to hang out, chill, all that good stuff. And again, I want to thank you guys for joining in. And yes, as Little Lego said, show those thumbs up. It really does help my ego. But no, I think everybody should give a thumbs up to everybody who has taken part in the brick crawl. Show everybody support. That's what I'm about. And I will post the link, the invite link in Discord as well, just now. I'm even going to be really cheeky and use the everybody tag for the first time. Yep, I'm sure I want to send it to that many people. There we go. But yes, absolutely. Let's ignore the trolls. They're not welcome on this train. This isn't TFL. And yes, I do want to say, if I haven't made it clear, I appreciate almost every one of you. No, I do appreciate this group and what you guys have done for me personally this year. And I'm assuming that I've made a difference in some of you guys' enjoyment of the hobby as well. So yeah, let's just run down the last couple of minutes. And it's great to speak to you more directly, Lego Therapy. Oh yeah, I've got to do some admin stuff for the stream. Okay, I think I've got to end this one manually as well, but I'm going to let the music do the talking for the rest of the stream. Right, so I hope to see you guys there on the next stream. But this has been SilentMode, maker, artist and Lego enthusiast. As always, encouraging you all to do your thing.